know, for either one of you, obviously you guys dominated the line of scrimmage in the last 2 games. What has been kind of the catalyst for that?
We talk about it, win as beat. That's our motto. So we try to contribute each and every play. Like we talk about, it's one step contract. It's something that we have, close to each other. So something we pride ourselves on. We want to open up the run game so we can get Sam going in the pass game.
Yeah, I think just adding on to that, we put a lot of time into film, and we played a lot of football together. And I think we're finally pretty comfortable playing with each other, and now we're getting into that groove, and I think it's working out good for us.
And you talk about film. Where does your guys' edge come from? That kind of attitude that you guys play with?
I think it comes from our coach. He recruits us because of the guys we are. I think we just bounce that off his personality. He coaches hard. We believe we're coached harder than anybody in the country, and we believe that reflects on the football field.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Kasaga was my coach my true freshman year, and he's the same way he is now. He's super tough on us, puts that chip on our shoulder. And I think that's how we play.
After the run game had an explosive night on Saturday, how much confidence does that give you guys for the work you guys are able to put in terms of aiding them and making it easy for your running backs to get an open field?
Me personally, we don't feel like it's any confidence because every week is a new week, right? A new opponent. And so the reality is that, that's last week or the last 2 weeks, if we were able to establish a run game, we have to do that again. And the week after, we got to do that again. We play Tech, go into the bye week, and we got to continue to do that. But as an offensive line, you want to run the damn ball. I think that makes guys confident. I think that makes the quarterback confident that, you can open up the run game so that the pass game goes smooth.
Yeah, I think playing off of that, I think that just contributes to all the hard work we've been doing. We've been putting a lot of work into this outside zone, this wide zone. And that's all we've been doing for the last 6 months. I think for it to actually start showing the results, I think it's hey Leaf, I think it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and going into Texas State, that's a team that obviously blitzes a lot, right? So what is the preparation like for you guys, but also how do you as an offensive line deal with the extra blitz?
I don't think we prepare any different, but the reality is we play a defense that blitzes a lot too. So all fall camp we had to deal with what we call Star Wars, right? Stuff flying at us from each and every direction. So we're blessed that we have a defense like that to help us prepare. But the reality is this opponent, it's just another opponent, but we want to prepare for them because we believe they're a very good team.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think it changes much. I think it's just more eye discipline and more, just mental strength for us than anything. But like you said, Coach Ward's defense has prepared us for literally anything we can see, and I think we're ready for it.
Anything that you guys have seen from Texas State in terms of the film so far that maybe in particular is a little bit different from what you guys have seen over the course of training camp against the defense here?
I don't think it's any different. I think our defense is very similar, right? But they have a chip on their shoulder. There's a lot of guys that bounce back that believe that they should be on a higher level. I think Texas State's a great school. It's a great program. They want to build it up, and we believe that they'll build it up in a couple of years. But I think the reality is those guys have a chip on their shoulder because they believe that wherever their previous stop was, for whatever reason it didn't work, they believe that they should be on that level again.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think it's something we haven't seen before, but they definitely. Coach Saga compared them to us. They play very hard, they play very tough, and I think it's going to be a good test for both of us on Thursday.
So last Saturday, you guys definitely were dominating in the whole game. You guys ran a lot of guard and tackle counters. Just when you guys get that kind of click on, when you guys know you're pulling, what's just kind of that mindset before you going into a play like that?
What you talk about is like a mindset play. Are you going to be physical or soft? That's what Coach T talks about it. You watch film. Is that physical or is that soft, right? So the reality is that when you pull, it's you versus that guy. And the reality is that if you can get that pull going, that starts the whole play. If you can't get that pull going, the play is essentially dead. So like you said, the mindset it's a mindset play. That's what we call it. You're going to be physical or you're going to be soft.
He basically just said everything. That's required for it.
How much pride do you guys take in Scott winning all those awards? Obviously it's as much to do with you guys as it is.
Well, I told Scott, the more viral he goes, the better my life is. I don't need anything. The more followers he gets, actually, we're doing something good. We're doing something right. So the more viral, the more awards, the more followers he gets, we're perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's just contest of what we've been doing the last 6 months, and to see it actually be working, and him going doing what we know he could do, it feels good.
For you guys, with the very physical battle on the line every week in the trenches, how do you rest and recover in terms of getting ready for a Thursday game on a short week?
I think schedule. It's hard, especially on a short week, but I think schedule, right? Time management. Everybody talks about time management as a thing that, talk about in school, talk about in the workforce, and something that people usually skip over. But time management is really important, right? Are you going to show up 5 minutes earlier because that's going to be 3.5 minutes to get in the ice bath, 2.5 minutes to change, then you can get to the meeting. So I think it's just the small things as far as time management to be able to recover. We have to do a little bit extra this week, a little bit of night things. So if you're here at night, you got to get an ice bath. If you're here in the morning, got to get an ice bath before, after, sometimes 3 times a day. But everything from IVs to cryotherapy to ice baths to massages, anything that we can get, we do a good job as offensive line recovering.
Yeah, like you said, basing it around our schoolwork, we're here all day squeezing in treatment, the boost, the ice tub, we're stretching, we're doing rehab, and just figuring out that routine, especially on the short week, is, it's what we've been doing.
You guys have a top 10 rushing offense throughout 2 weeks. Definitely a better start than last year. How much do you guys kind of pay attention to that, just to kind of keep that going?
Well, that's the fact that we didn't know, but the reality is we want to be the best offensive line in the country. The best offensive line means we're number one. And I think the reality is, when you talk about offensive line, pass protecting is great, right? So a lot of pass offenses going around, a lot of air raid, especially in the NFL. When you talk about running the ball, we think it's pretty impressive because that's imposing your will on another grown man, right? So I think it's very important for us that we want to be the best rushing offense in the country. We want Scat to have the most yards, whatever is really. We want to be able to split. Can we have multiple 1K backs, right? We're only 2 weeks into the season, so how good can we really get? Because we believe that throughout 2 weeks, we don't believe that we played very good.
Texas State's a very aggressive team, like I said, a lot of blitzing. What are you guys going to pick up from the film and recognize some of those blitzes?
Like we talked about earlier, just Coach Ward's defense gave us that all the time. So it's just different names, different looks, right? But the reality is all pressures are essentially the same. We look at them all the same. Cade talked about it earlier, eye discipline, right? Being able to have our eye discipline, eyes in the right place. I think that's very important. And, with a team that moves around a lot, the reality is they have a chip on their shoulder. Coaches are calling their plays in confidence.
First road trip of the year, how much of a challenge it is as an offensive line to have? We heard the noise in the bubble here today. How challenging is it to kind of get your adjustments in there, and how much does your game have to change a little bit?
I think ultra communication. It starts off from the signal, it starts off to the center, and then we bounce out, right? So the reality is when you're on the road, communication is everything. When you think about crowd noise doesn't really affect people because reality is it just all sounds like a blur. So reality is we talk about focus with each other and just communication. I think communication is ultimate, especially with the quarterback. Having the quarterback come up closer, right? You start them in a loud environment. And we've been around the block. We've old guys, me, Cade, Leaf. We've been in pretty loud places. We talk about UW, Oregon, all the Pac-12 schools that have been pretty loud, played at Notre Dame, all those different things. I think it's helped us in the long run.
Can you just really talk about this team being one of the best teams that you guys have faced so far, and you really think it's a team that can compete, the Big 12 conference? What are you guys going to see from the field that makes this opponent so challenging?
I think chip on the shoulder. We're going to keep saying chip on the shoulder. These guys believe that they belong on a higher level than what they are. I think that's right. They want to prove it. So they've played 2 games. I don't think they believe that they have received the best competitions. UTSA and Lamar, and those are good programs on different levels, right? UTSA, they talk about they had a rivalry. The reality is Arizona State is now a Power 4 conference. And the reality is that they want to beat that team and prove because I think they believe their schedule is very favorable the rest of the way.
How do you guys look at a guy like Sam Levitt, a quarterback that's like relatively inexperienced compared to some other guys around the country, and having to deal with this first road game as a starter in that environment and trying to deal with everything he has to deal with on Thursday?
I think it's up to us to give him confidence. We look at Sam as like a little brother. He's the youngest guy on the offense, right? He's surrounded by all these old guys. So we got to do our job as leaders to make him feel comfortable. And like you talked about, open up the run game makes him feel super, super comfortable. Because reality is he's handing off, he feels like, hey, we're whipping their tail. The reality is if I do make a mistake here and there, I'm not tripping. So it's our responsibility as older guys, one as an offensive line to protect him, keep him off the ground. And then 2, build up that confidence in him that if he does make a mistake, bring him together and know that we got his back.
Yeah, no, I think like Ben said, if we do our job and run the ball effectively and we can bring those heavier boxes, I think we clear up a lot of the pass pictures for him, and that's our plan, and keep him nice and comfortable back there.
What are the Bear front? What are some of the challenges that provides the 5 down front? What creates a lot of one-on-one matchup? What do you guys kind of see from that?
I think we think Bear front sometimes it's not always the one-on-one matchups. We talk about the movement, right? We try to create 3-man stunts, and I think that's really important. Getting our depth as far as pass game. And the reality is keep eye discipline, be smart. Understand where guys are going. Understand whether it's 5-man, 6-man, or 7-man protection so you know where your help is at. So I think the reality is that we got to stay disciplined. Listen to what Coach T has taught us this whole time. It's nothing new that we're doing to acknowledge the Bear front. The reality is, once again, Coach Ward has given us Bear front multiple times. The reality is that oftentimes what looks like a Bear front isn't always a Bear front. They can turn that Bear front quickly into a 3-man rush. They can turn that Bear front into a 5-man twist game. It can do a lot of wicked things, a lot of disguising. So I think the reality is just stay disciplined, listen to our coach, and I think we'll be okay.
The edge rushers through a rank is like some of the best edge rushers in the country on PFF. So what is kind of the challenge of matching up against those guys and knowing that you guys really going to protect the outside?
I think once again, coaching, technique, right? Technique is everything. As offensive linemen, we firmly believe that the defense doesn't win anything, we lose it. The reality is that you give them space, you give them the opportunity to make a play on you. If you're set wrong, where your eyes at, where your hands at. So the reality is as long as you're disciplined, you'll be able to take care of it, especially in the coverage because they're good players. They might win a rep, they might gain an edge, but the reality is you trust your technique, you trust your coaching, you'll be okay.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.